Okay, here we go. More about Donald Trump and Bill Bubba Clinton. Earlier I made this video, which I wish that I could just sort of burn straight out of my brain. For some reason my green screen's not working, so we're just gonna go with the flow here. I started this video by saying that my daughters are both adults. They're 21 and 22. So we've all seen the email, right, about Bubba. Oh God, I hate that I have to read this out loud. So I believe this is between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark. Mark says, "You and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard." I hate this. I hate this so much. Jeffrey replies, "And I thought I had," and then he uses a Yiddish word for trouble. "I thought I had trouble." Mark replies, "Ask him if Putin has the photos." Oh God. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. I hate it here so much. Okay, Bubba is a well-known nickname for Bill Clinton. So I'm in here working, and my 22-year-old pops in and was like, "Hey Mom, do you think that Bill Clinton made Donald Trump play Boar on the Floor?" Which is a Succession reference. If you know, you know. And then not 20 minutes later, my 21-year-old called me on the phone and was like, "Hey Mom, you know what they're saying? They're calling it Bill's BJ in the Oval Part 2. I'm glad Gen Z can find some humor in this moment. And I just wanted to take a second here, especially because I'm not sure that a lot of Gen Z know. I'm an old fart. I'm 46. I actually went and heard Hillary Clinton speak when she was first lady. She wore a pink Chanel suit, and I was in the front row. It was a thing, y'all. It was a thing. But folks may not know that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton used to be real good buds. They were straight up homies, or maybe not so straight, but definitely real close, according to these emails. So, this rhetoric that Donald Trump started putting out around the time that he ran for president the first time, that Bill and Hillary Clinton were in the Epstein files. Any good conspiracy theory has a little grain of truth to it. And Donald Trump is very much the master of deflection, took all of the focus off of himself for quite a long time. MAGA sure lapped it up, all of that drain the swamp, the Democratic elites who are, hobnobbing with the super rich. They are the super rich, they're super corrupt. That all had a significant element of truth to it. The thing is that Donald Trump was one of those elites. He was rubbing elbows with powerful politicians and international leaders. He was a billionaire in this same social circle as the Clintons and everybody else. And I actually went back and found this piece from, I think it is 2016, about the history of Donald Trump and Bill Clinton's friendship. So the piece by Michelle Gorman starts off saying, there's been this recent rhetoric from Donald Trump around former President Bill Clinton, but that years before Donald Trump secured the nomination for the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump and Bill Clinton were longtime friends. So this is while Donald Trump was running for office the first time, after he came down that golden escalator. The piece goes on to talk about the fact that during the election in 2016, Donald Trump was being criticized for his ties to the Clintons, specifically the fact that the Clintons and other Democrat New Yorkers celebrated at Donald Trump's 2005 wedding to Melania, now Melania Trump. Hillary Clinton was granted a front row seat at the ceremony, and her husband later joined at the reception at the Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. A snapshot taken of the Clintons and the newlywed Trumps has been widely circulated during the primary season. The wedding was dubbed the event that explains the 2016 election. During the first GOP debate in August, Trump said the couple had no choice but to attend his third wedding because he had donated generously to their charitable foundation, as well as to Clinton's Senate campaigns and her first presidential bid. Also, Ivanka Trump and Chelsea Clinton are friends in real life, or at least were back in 2016. I think a lot of people forget that Donald Trump had been off and on registered Republican, registered Independent, registered with the Reform Party, and also a registered Democrat. All of these corporate funded elites, all of these wealthy folks, y'all, they are so intermingled. So early in 2016, the Washington Post reported that on a private casual phone call in 2015, Bill Clinton encouraged Trump to play a larger role in the Republican Party. That conversation took place in May 2015, a month after Hillary Clinton declared her presidential bid and just weeks before Trump announced his. I didn't know this prior to reading this article from the Washington Post. It's where they described Donald Trump first launching his foray into politics on a national level. I didn't know that Donald Trump had been encouraged by Bill Clinton to get involved in the Republican Party. You wonder why there was all of this rhetoric from the right about draining the swamp and corruption in the Democratic Party. Corporate establishment Democrats, y'all, there's a reason they're called controlled opposition. There's a reason that people believe that both parties are corrupt. It's just that the Republican Party is now entirely a corrupt fascist party, but Democratic elites controlled by corporations, controlled by foreign money, right? Like so many folks in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are just fucking run by AIPAC. They're run by wealth and power, and so many of our elected representatives go on to be CEOs for corporations, go on to lobby for big corporations, go on to enrich themselves tremendously. Go spend some time on Open Secrets. Go spend some time looking at the net worth of senators. All these folks run in the same circles. So I guess, for me, reading this article where it goes on to say, Bill Clinton has described Donald Trump as being, quote, uncommonly nice to Hillary and me. And Clinton said of Donald Trump, I like him and I love playing golf with him. Back in an interview in 2012 with CNN, Clinton praised Donald Trump, spoke highly of him, even though Trump at that time was really prominent in the birther movement, claiming that Barack Obama was not an American citizen, was not born in the US. And Trump, for his part, in an interview with Fox News, also in 2012, called Bill Clinton a really good guy. It really wasn't until 2016, May of 2016, that Donald Trump started ramping up these attacks against both of the Clintons. This didn't really happen until Ted Cruz and John Kasich both dropped out of the race. And we know where that went, right? We know that Donald Trump swung really far to the right. He picked up all of these authoritarian tactics, and he started pandering to a far right-wing audience. And of course, that had to come with villainizing his opponent, Hillary Clinton, and also the Clintons in general, because they represent corruption and wealth and exploitation in the Democratic Party. They represent grift and pork and the swamp. After Bill Clinton's 1998 scandal with Monica Lewinsky, Trump expressed sympathy toward Bill Clinton. And he said, it's a terrible thing for a president to take the Fifth Amendment, but he probably should have done it. That's Trump in an interview with CNBC in August of 98. I don't think he could have done any worse than what happened. It's such an embarrassment to him. And then a decade later, Trump repeated these views, adding that the Lewinsky scandal was overblown. Look at the trouble that Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant, and they tried to impeach him, which was nonsense. Back in the 90s, along with Monica Lewinsky, Clinton spent a lot of his career embroiled in accusations of sexual misconduct with multiple women, Kathleen Willey, Juanita Broaddrick, and Paula Jones. None of their complaints resulted in criminal trials. But at the height of the scandal, according to this reporting, Trump decided to weigh in, calling Jones a loser in an interview with CNBC. Jones had accused Bill Clinton of sexual harassment. At the time, when Trump was asked about whether he would run for public office, he compared himself to Bill Clinton, saying, can you imagine how controversial I'd be? You think about him with the women, how about me with the women? Trump also suggested that Clinton was a victim to unattractive women who made false accusations. Trump also said America might have been more forgiving to Bill Clinton if he had cheated on his wife, quote, with a really beautiful woman of sophistication instead of Monica Lewinsky. But by the time Trump was running for office the first time, he had switched and started calling Bill Clinton a victimizer of women. I think as more of the Epstein files come to light and we get more of the truth out there, we're going to see how commingled the powerful amongst the Republicans and the Democrats actually are, and how much they are both tied to very wealthy people and entities. Honestly, it reminds me of how Bill Clinton endorsed Andrew Cuomo, and then Donald Trump and Elon Musk turned around and endorsed Andrew Cuomo. All of that wealth and power, they're all tied up. I think we're about to find out exactly how much.